You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
The world champion White Ferns are back home now, most of them anyway, after winning the T20 World Cup in the UAE last month.
New Zealand have done it. They have climbed their Everest. They have etched their names in history.
Yeah, one of the great sporting performances of the calendar year. Now the trophies on tour around New Zealand. Both Maddy Green and Izzy played all 6 matches for New Zealand at the tournament. They're part of the trophy tour, but they've popped into the studio for a bit of a chat. Izzy, how has it been touring the trophy around New Zealand?
Well, it's actually my first day in Auckland because some of the other girls have been doing the other stints in their hometown. So I reached the mighty Auckland, so stoked to be doing that today, but it's had a good run so far.
Absolutely. And what about you, Maddy? Have you been on the tour for a while or is this your first day as well?
No, sort of my first day too. I think the really cool thing is we've had different girls sort of in their own regions with the trophy and getting around their sort of local communities and where they started their sort of cricketing journeys. So that's been great. Good
to have it toured around, right around the country. All right, let's talk about the World Cup itself. You two, of course, were there at the end in the final of your innings anyway against South Africa. 158 for 5 you set batting first. Maddy, as you walked off, did you feel like you had enough to defend?
Yeah, I thought that batting first, that was a fantastic score to put on the board, and obviously the conditions in Dubai were challenging, slow wickets, the outfields were slow and sort of boundaries are hard to come by, so I thought that was a really competitive total, but also knowing in the back of our mind that South Africa had some world-class players, so that we needed to bowl well to defend it, but we thought that was a great start, and it was just up to our bowlers to go and do the job, and they really delivered as well.
They really did. I mean, in the end, it was a comfortable win, wasn't it? 32 runs. Izzy, at what point during the South African innings did you let yourself believe you were going to win the game?
Oh, I think I had belief from the start, but I think when the total was pretty unreachable, had that little tingly feeling. I was like, oh, we've actually got it here. And then it hit that last over and things started to be real and last ball hit and had to calm myself with that last ball because I had to get through it. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I bet. And Maddy, for you, how were the emotions when the win was finally secured?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal, really. Look, I think if we're being really honest, probably going into this tournament, we didn't necessarily expect it was going to go this way. And, I've been part of the team for a long time, and all you sort of dream of is and want to achieve playing for New Zealand is to win world titles. And, so for me and some of the older girls being around for a long time and through some pretty tough times as well, it was pretty special. And it was cool just looking up in that sort of last over, knowing that we were going to win and seeing the smiles on everyone's faces and, just the pure joy was pretty fantastic. So, yeah, it's something I'll never forget.
I bet. I want to talk a bit more about your role over the last decade in a moment. But Izzy, who were the leaders of the celebrations afterwards? Who would have got to bed the latest?
Probably Susie Bates and Leah Tahuhu. They had some late nights and definitely celebrated how it should be. And then probably in the change room, as people have seen, Georgia Plimmer led through the karaoke and set the scene with the music, which was great.
Oh, well, good to know that a couple of the more experienced players were keeping the young ones on their toes during the celebrations. Excellent to hear. Maddy, go back to the start of the tournament for us. How important was the win over India in the first game to really set you guys up?
Yeah, hugely important. Obviously, we sort of knew going into the tournament that we're in a really hard pool, and both India and Australia are world-class sides. And then obviously as well, we had Pakistan and Sri Lanka who've been playing well and toppling some top teams over the last couple of years. So we sort of talked about that first game being the most important game in our pool, and I thought the way that Sophie led from the front with how she batted and she was exceptional, and then her captaincy throughout that innings as well when we were bowling, she was just on, and crucial win for us. And T20 cricket a lot of the time is about momentum, and I thought that just got our tournament off to a great start.
Izzy, from your position behind the stumps, you had a perfect view of the White Ferns bowling, of course, during the tournament. What do you think your bowling attack did particularly well across the entire tournament?
I think we stuck to our own brand, with the likes of Eden Carson shining through for that tournament was really cool. And, Mealy had an excellent tournament with the ball, and everyone just played their own role and stuck to their own plans. And you see the likes of the things that we've been working on. Really special, I think.
And you're still quite new to this side. You're one of the younger members of the side, but are you still able to offer advice to the bowlers, even though, most of them are older and more experienced than you are?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone would love some input on, what the wicket's doing and what the batters are doing, and I've got the view that everyone probably would like. So like to give my input here and there, and, they can take it how they can use it. But yeah, just see what I can contribute behind the stumps. And
6 catches for you across the tournament, Maddy, including a couple in the final. The ball seemed to follow you around as it usually does. How big a part of the White Ferns' success at the World Cup was the team's fielding?
Yeah, I thought we fielded particularly well throughout that tournament, and Craig McMillan's been a huge influence on that since he's come into the team, and the intensity he brings with sort of fielding training. So I think he's been great, and we talked about as a group that fielding was going to be really crucial at this tournament, so it's something we focus a lot on. And I thought someone like Georgia Plummer in the outfield really set the standard, and we've talked a lot about effort in our teams being something that we can control. So from a fielding point of view, that was a huge focus, and it was really hot over in Dubai, obviously. But it's just about pushing ourselves and doing what we can for the team, and I think our fielding made a big difference.
And you alluded to it before, but you've been around this team for a wee while. Over 100 T20 internationals now, 76 one-day internationals. How special was this for you and some of those who have been in this team with you for over a decade now?
Yeah, hugely special. As I said earlier, it's just what you dream about as being a White Fern, is winning tournaments for New Zealand. And, we've certainly been through some ups and some downs and heartbreak. And, I think most recently that 50-over home World Cup was pretty devastating for a few of us that were there. And we've had a few changes in the team since that point. And it's been really refreshing to have sort of some of the younger group come in, potentially not with those sort of battle scars, and just come in and express themselves and play so freely. And I think throughout the tournament we just had so many different people standing up at different times, and that was the really cool thing. And I think potentially you could say in the past, we may have relied on Susie and Sophie to get us over the line in games and tournaments, but I think the way that all our girls contributed throughout the tournament was excellent. And for us old girls, it's pretty cool to be able to say we're T20 World Cup champions in particular.
Absolutely. And for the younger members of the team, Izzy, of which you are one, Maddy talked about it there, about players coming in and being enabled to perform straight away. Maybe no battle scars for you. Have you found the White Ferns environment one that has been easy to fit into?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone's really welcoming, and we all want the team to just do well. So we're all striving for the same goal, which is pretty special. But yeah, everyone's welcoming, and it's pretty much a big family, so it's pretty lucky to be a part of it. And, I've supported the team growing up, so, you see what they've been through, and I guess now to make my mark in it is pretty special.
And you're not even, You're not even 21 yet. You're still very early on in your cricketing journey. Does this feel a bit surreal in some ways to be a world champion this early in your career?
Yeah, definitely. First World Cup is a good one to remember. So, yeah, it's pretty surreal and pretty unforgettable.
All right, so back home now, Maddy, the home summer underway soon, both domestically and with the White Ferns. Internationally, 3 one-day internationals against Australia at the Basin before Christmas. Then Sri Lanka are here in March for ODIs and T20s, and then Australia again for T20s at the back end of March. How keen are the side to play on home soil for the first time as world champions?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I'm personally excited to play back at the Basin against Australia. We're always really well supported in Wellington, and first game of the summer is free entry. So, looking forward to getting out there in Wellington and hopefully get a good crowd. They're really keen cricket supporters down in the capital. So, it'll be great. We're looking forward to it. Should be a great summer. So
you could play a lot more often at the Basin. All you'd have to do is just to come back to the Blaze and play your domestic cricket there again.
I could. I did love my time at the Blaze, but it is nice to be home back in Auckland with friends and family, and still hold the Basin very close to my heart.
All right, well, you're always welcome down in the capital. And for you, Izzy, looking forward to another summer of domestic and international cricket?
Yeah, definitely. Love playing for the Auckland Harps, especially with Maddy alongside me, and then alongside the Basin, which will be special, even though it gets pretty windy down there. Can't complain about the crowds that we get in there.
Oh, good to have some shots fired right at the end. Izzy Gaze, Maddy Green, congratulations on being part of a really special team that achieved something extraordinary, T20 World Champions. I hope the rest of the tour goes well and the summer ahead, both domestically and internationally as well. Thanks for both stopping in for a chat.
Cheers, thank you.
No, thank you both. Izzy Gaze and Maddy Green there as the T20 tour continues. I'm sure you can find out where it's going to be, if it's going to be close to you. I think it started down south. It's worked its way up. I presume it'll be up heading, I probably should have asked, heading north now. The White Ferns are back in action, as I mentioned there. There's a 3-match one-day international series against Australia. All 3 games at the Basin Reserve on December 19, 21 and 23. And news through yesterday that the game on the 19th of December is free entry. So they're opening the gates for the first game back on home soil for the world champion White Ferns. These are 50-over matches. Of course, they're T20 World Champions, but 3 50-over matches at the Basin. The White Ferns against Australia. The first of those on the 19th of December, free entry. Then Sri Lanka arrived. There are T20s and one-day internationals against Sri Lanka in March. And then the back end of March, Australia are back again. And they'll play 3 T20 internationals this time against the White Ferns. So a good international summer to look forward to. And amongst all of that, of course, our top players will be involved in the Super Smash, which starts just after Christmas. There's also the Halliburton-Johnston Shield, which is the women's 50-over competition that gets underway in the next week or so.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.